Welcome back to another episode of Table Talk. One with the most out-of-pocket hot takes.
Most, I had something planned for this and I lost it. Most out of lock it. I think I said it last week. We're moving on.
Moving on.
Date.
February 15th.
The day after
Valentine's
Day.
Hope all the lovebirds out there had a nice Valentine's Day. I know I did.
I'm
masturbating.
Oh, yeah,
how was Soto?
Great.
Yeah?
Amazing.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Yoso's is way better though.
I've never been.
You should go there next time.
I will.
Phenomenal.
Make the reservation.
It's so nice.
I'm a simple man.
I've heard good things.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get into this.
Yeah, let's get into this. Right off the bat. Oh, actually, before we get into this, for anyone who doesn't know, $29
in the swear jar currently.
That could change before we even start. And comment, subscribe. You're entered into a raffle to win.
That's all you gotta do. Click that button. Comment,
say something. Tell us your deepest secrets.
You could be getting free cash.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start.
Okay.
Obvious story I think that we're gonna cover today is the most recent of multiple mass shootings in the States.
It's a sad day.
Yeah.
On Valentine's Day too.
On Valentine's Day.
Terrible.
So this incident happened in at Majority Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida.
Yeah.
So as of now, there's 17 killed, 14 victims, 5 of which are in critical condition. That's the only reason why I say as of now, 17 are dead. Yeah, because 5 of them are in critical condition, so this number can increase.
It could, hopefully not.
So the killer is a 19-year-old former student at the school. I'm not gonna say the name of the person.
Yeah.
For this
obvious
podcast.
Reasons.
Just because, I'm not gonna perpetuate whatever this person was clearly trying to achieve, right?
Yeah.
So, what exactly happened now?
Yeah, let's it's been all over the news, but let's.
So just for you to clarify this, I heard that he was expelled.
Yes. Yeah, he was
like
a former
year before or something like that, right?
He's 19. I'm not sure what year he was expelled.
But he was expelled from the school.
He was expelled from the school, from what I've read. Now, in chronological order, what happened was yesterday, Wednesday, February 14th, at 2:20 p.m., the mass shooter gets out of an Uber, approaches the school. He had a black duffel bag and a black backpack filled with preloaded clips. And in the hallway, he started unloading using a semi-automatic AR-15. So the shots started in the hallway. He proceeded to go into five other classrooms and shoot more students and facility members at the school. I think. He was caught an hour off campus. So an hour after the incident, he was caught.
So he did the shooting and then he left.
Yeah, like it wasn't.
This is surprising because usually in these shootings they kill themselves.
Or get killed. The last shooter I remember that didn't get killed was the Century 51 during the Dark Knight premiere. The guy that dressed up
as a Joker.
As
the Joker, right?
Yeah, I think it was either the Joker or Bane and went into the theater.
It was the Joker because he had in the court pictures he had the colorful hair.
Right.
He had the orange or whatever.
So he went in and busted out shots. Other than that, there's no other mass shooter that I know of that made it out alive themselves.
I was gonna say, I think it's important, like you mentioned it, but it's important that he used the AR-15.
Yes.
Which, when I was watching it on the news, they specified that gun as to do as much damage as possible. That's the whole point of the gun, to do
it's
as much damage.
9mm bullets.
It's not like a pistol or a sniper or this gun is
it's
designed. It's designed to kill.
Yeah, and that is important because
all guns are designed to kill,
yeah.
but you know what I mean.
Yeah, because like with an AR-15, along with most guns you can acquire in the States legally, you know, beyond the purpose of what people say of self-defense or of hunting, AR-15s have no purpose. Like, what, unless you're literally hunting mass groups of people, AR-15s have no use. And why should a gun that could do this be able to be bought by anyone?
Yeah, I feel like this is gonna go into like the should guns be legal and the mental health conversation, which are both like so tricky.
Yeah.
They're very tricky conversations.
Well, that's why I find more so with this story that's interesting is sort of the prior to the shooting information.
Yeah.
Like the FBI claims that they knew of the shooter due to a YouTube account that used the same name as the shooter it mentioned, that had a comment, and I'll quote it directly, had a comment rather saying, I'm going to be a professional school shooter. And I mean, on the mental aspect of that, this isn't like when you look at more radicalized mass shooters who are driven by by radical ideologies.
Yeah.
Or mass shooters like in high school shootings like Columbine or Century 51 even, where they were literally mentally unstable and, you know, like had severe mental issues. Like the kids in Columbine were bullied severely.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I see where you're going.
Yeah, but this person literally like there's so many mass shootings out in the States that there is a cliche mass shooter that you could ballpark in. You know we know what a mass shooter is. Mm-hmm. It's not a hard thing to spot. You know, this kid got the black duffel bag, black backpack, had the crazy gun,
crazy haircut. Like he looked crazy. Like yeah.
The problem is that he looks like a mass shooter. I've seen enough to have a stereotype about him.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's been enough mass shootings.
Yeah, there's a stereotype
that when you watch the news, you almost feel like you're watching a rerun or something.
Yeah, because you see
It's interesting what you said though too, because most mass shooters, in like every situation, like the Orlando one, it was because he had this grudge against gay people, even though he was gay. The bullies that get bullied and they just snap. It almost seemed like with that YouTube comment that like he aspired to be a mass shooter. Like that's his like.
That was it.
That's his MO, you know,
like his motives weren't like driven by an ideology or by a severe mental illness. I feel like
it is a mental illness. He has to be mentally
ill. Oh yeah, fair enough, but like it's almost like the backgate that American politicians use now to say like they're mentally insane. You know, this is why this happened. But I mean, like, yeah, fair, you could say that, and then you could start taking the precautions for mentally insane people, or you could just get rid of just AR-15s. Just get those out of the picture. You know what I mean?
I was about to say, like, if you're talking about handguns, that's a whole different argument.
Yeah.
But assault rifles?
It's like, come on.
At the very least, like, not in the city. Like, I mean, I don't know where the school was located, but, like, not, like...
Even in the countryside. Like, what are you trying to do? Like, exterminate every deer in one outing?
I mean...
Like assault rifles are... There's no use for them unless you're, like, at those bachelor parties out in Las Vegas where you're just shooting at targets.
That's the thing. Like, there's so much, like, people... just buy guns just to have guns, which makes no sense. Like if you buy a handgun for protection, okay, that makes sense. It fires relatively slow. You know, you have to like, it has like 8 shots, whatever.
Yeah.
But like
an AR,
an automatic or a semi-automatic where you can like, bang, 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 like fast.
Yeah.
I don't see the point. And it's not even like if you buy a pistol, you can just go buy it, but if you buy the AR, there's like more background checks. I'm pretty sure it's almost the same process.
Yeah. No,
I believe it is.
Yeah, because like we've all seen those videos on YouTube of like
people going to Walmart.
Well, like,
Yeah.
like you see the one with the kid who tries to buy a lottery ticket, and people are like, nah, like, that's not going to happen. You're a kid. Or buy a pack of smokes, and they're like, you shouldn't be smoking, you're a child. And he goes to a gun expo, and this kid's like 13, and buys himself like a pistol.
That's insane. It's like, what's the point?
Exactly, and that's the thing, like, and it's gotten to a point where there's been so many of these shootings that there's a deadlock in the States. Well, what happens is people almost, like, instinctively now, you can even see, like, reporters doing it, where they go on, this happens, we're going to have the same analyst on, we know the story, we're gonna say, you know, pray for wherever it is in the States.
For 2 weeks.
We'll talk about how the person's mentally ill and do their whole background
and it's just
story.
a cycle.
Exactly, and then we'll go back to it. Like you could see now that after this one, you know, there's starting to be a shift just because of how many there are. That people,
I don't think there's a shift. I think it's going to be the same thing over and over.
I think the shift isn't in what will change politically, but more so how people are treating it, where they're not so much distraught anymore, but they're fed up, and they're saying that, you know, you could see people as distraught as families are, as they should be.
Yeah.
People aren't approach it the same way. I don't blame them, where they go like, I couldn't imagine this happening to me. But now more so people are saying, like, I can't believe that this is happening so often.
Yeah.
I can't understand why nothing's happening, why this keeps happening. Like,
so do you, like, both of you, would you say, I know it's a mix of both,
right.
but how much of a mental illness versus accessibility to these guns is the issue?
I may say accessibility is nearly 90% of the issue.
I would almost not say that. Cam, what do you think?
For once, I'd actually have to agree with Martino, because the accessibility, because
I agree, but I don't think it's the same percentage. In my
no,
opinion.
because this is what I'm thinking is I watched Bowling for Columbine last night, right? And within, there's going to be kind of like an off tangent, but it'll come back. But within that, they talked about the youngest school shooter in U.S. history, which, if you guys don't know, was a 6-year-old kid.
What?
That shot another 6-year-old kid in a class. And it wasn't because he bought the gun. It's because his uncle had a gun in his house, because the kid was staying with the uncle. So the thing is whether the kid can buy the gun or he can just take the gun from his parent, the gun's just always accessible. Cause
That's true.
Because I don't know the statistic to this date. I don't know statistics that well, but I'm pretty sure a majority of the United States have a firearm in their house.
That's true.
Whether it's a 9mm, a Magnum, a 12 gauge, whatever, right? But it's just, the accessibility is there, regardless of how old you are. If you can buy it or not, you can. Either a family member's going to have it, a family friend's going to have it, someone that you know well.
Someone within
your
group is going to have one.
And that's the thing. Like,
I think it's closer to, like...
Because the thing is, it's not really like a mental illness or whatever, because, like, different people... Because I'm sure, like, everyone's been bullied in elementary school, right?
Yeah.
Like, maybe not to a severe point where you want to kill a person, but there's been a point where you really want to punch someone, right?
Yeah.
Or you just really want to act out. But this, like, for the Columbine, let's say, these kids, like, it just kept going and going and going to the point where they're like, you know what, like...
They're just fed up.
Yeah, they're like, yo, I'm offing all these people. Like, I don't care anymore. These people have already ruined my high school experience. I'm going to ruin it for them, blah, blah, blah. It's not really like a mental thing. It's more just kind of like
A snap.
a snap. You know,
Yeah,
because
I mean,
anyone
like,
can snap. It's not a certain percentage of people. It's anyone can snap.
and yeah, if you're pushed that far to a certain point, like, that's the thing. I feel like it's both. Like, if you're pushed to that point, for example, us, right?
right.
We could be pushed to that point, but nobody we know has a gun. So the most we can do is, like, just get mad and, like...
Okay,
you know.
for you guys, do you know any place near us that you could buy a gun?
No.
I want to say...
I don't know one place. And that may be because I haven't done research, or
Yeah,
I
no,
know somewhere, but I don't know
actually have
one
no
place.
idea.
I think you might be able to get them at the Bass Pro, like out in Vaughan Mills.
Possibly, yeah.
I think
that
they sell
may-
them
do
there.
you know what,
But
though?
the licensing in Canada
Yeah,
is like...
it's impossible.
Yeah, like you're not walking in and being like, hey, can I get a gun?
You're basically not getting one, like, no matter what.
It's like a process. And it's funny because within Bowling for Columbine, I think it's like the very first scene, he goes into a bank.
A bank, yeah. That
but
was
they're
crazy.
also a licensed firearm
Yeah.
And if
dealer.
you sign up,
If you sign up for a certain account, you can have any weapon of your choice from their cabinet. And it's like,
dog.
there's no, like, obviously they did background checks, but just the incentive to open a bank account with this bank and you can get a firearm.
That's the thing. There's too much joy around guns. Like, I guess I get it
I don't.
for
I really
people
don't.
that, like, just want to put it on their wall. I mean, I guess I can get it. Not really, but, like, okay. But
Like-
not to, like, have one to, like, use. Like,
Well, that's the thing. Like and that's why I say
use a crossbow if you're going to hunt.
accessibility is the major problem. Because, I mean, like, look at the rest of the world as examples. If mental illness is the issue, the pattern we see should be the same nearly across the board. If mental illness is the issue, then
True.
Canada should be just as bad. Now, fair, we're looking at per capita, where they have
Yeah. Well, I think...
363 million people in the States.
Yeah.
debt to equity ratio kind of thing.
Like I think I was just reading earlier before the podcast. Like in Germany, relative to the States 16 times more per capita mass shootings.
And in Germany, do they also have the same access?
No, that's the thing. Like the access.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
Like the access is the issue. Because here's the thing. Let's say it's mental illness. Let's say
Yeah.
people who are nuts are the problem. Then, like to go with the extreme case of it. Why isn't it that you don't have like chimpanzees in cages that are constantly causing mass shootings? Like, I know it's extreme.
Well, I think
But
it's
yeah,
like...
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
because they don't have guns. Like,
Yeah.
if you don't have the gun, you can't do the shooting. It's as simple as that. And I get that the argument a lot in the States, and it's something that I probably just don't get because I'm Canadian. Is it's a Second Amendment right. It's part of their heritage to be able to have a gun. But because of that, you're very quickly finding that part of their heritage is having a family member that's died in a mass shooting.
Exactly. Like,
Or someone that has died in a mass shooting is quickly becoming part of the American heritage. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and that's the thing. You have to decide what's more important. Your right to bear arms, or the right to not have to worry about your kids when you send them off to school.
One thing that I want to add on to that is, like, after you messaged saying like, oh, did you hear about Florida, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really like look it up because I actually was coincidentally I was watching Bowling for Columbine, and for those of you who haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's not just a great documentary, it's very eye opening.
Yeah, very informative.
It is. Like, it's really well done, and it's just kind of like my perspective on these school shootings and mass shootings and whatnot. It's changed because of it, because it's just like the amount of information that's given to you just really opens up your eyes about what actually happens over there. Because, like, there's people where Michael Moore interviews saying like, oh, it's because of our violent history of the country, blah blah blah. And he's like, well, what about Germany? What about Britain? What about so on and so forth? You know what I mean? And people are just kind of like, oh, like it's just like kind of
Right.
like people don't know why it's like that, but they're trying to find something. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because of the whole Valentine's Day shooting, which will probably it'll get a name somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's definitely the assault rifles. But I think, like, if there's someone that's, like, trying to stop this problem, right? Every school shooting so far, it's been the shooting, trying to ban guns, not banning guns, and then school shooting.
Yeah.
I think along with banning guns, we should also be like, okay, let's put like a therapist in every school. If someone gets expelled, send them to like like mandatory like therapist meetings or something.
Man, I love how you look at that.
Just to like get
'Cause
it
it's
off their
such-
chest and like like with that too.
Yeah.
Also try and ban guns.
Like even
Yeah,
even
but
if
I love like the contrast you show between like what they actually do, where they're like there's school shootings, let's get reinforced, or let's get enforced officers in there with guns, and then you have good old Dom over here. That's such a better approach.
it is.
You know, don't arm the school, just get therapists in there, get someone that they could talk to and whatnot.
Yeah,
Because
because
even if the therapist doesn't help, right? Like say they can't help the troubled individual, at least it raises awareness so that they can somehow prevent this individual.
And
from
even
going
then,
back.
like it's being proactive. It's trying to stop the problem before there's a shooter in the school.
That's
already.
that's what I mean.
You know what I mean? Like exactly. So
yeah, like I saw a lot of comments like on like Instagram posts or whatever, like YouTube things. I was like, oh, nobody in the school had a gun. If I had a gun,
there was an armed. There's an armed
was
guard.
there?
There was one armed guard that was in a different like this. We have to imagine like we go to school and we went to high school in Canada. Like they're puny compared to the States.
yeah.
Like this is a huge.
Oh, I guess it was a big school.
Yeah, like there was one armed.
Wasn't it the football coach?
Guard? No.
I
He was
about that.
Yeah, but there was one armed guard on campus at the time. He was just in a different part of the school when
Yeah.
this happened.
But he couldn't get there in time.
Yeah,
Because it was so big,
Yeah.
Like by the time you shoot off the shots with an AR-15, maybe if he was like in the lunchroom down the hall, he would have got there at the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then he just ran away, right? Because he got caught an hour after.
Yeah, an hour after off
Like,
campus.
yeah, on someone's
campus.
lawn.
Mm-hmm.
That's
And
insane.
here's the thing, like, because the conversation has get brought up about mass shootings a lot, and I feel like the major argument that people for or like against gun reform, they always bring up like like the what if, self-defense, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So for argument's sake rather, I took a little bit of my own time out.
Mhm.
I did some comparative stats.
Yeah.
Now,
Let's hear these.
yeah, like there's not many. This is actually a little bit harder to research than I thought it was gonna be, but there's this great website called it's called, I think it's literally called gunviolence.org. If you go on there, they have the stats for every sort of incident with a gun in the States from 2014, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to do the mass shootings, right? So
I think we should clarify mass shootings. I think mass shootings are 4 or more, right?
so I got the definition. So according to them, a mass shooting is any shooting where 4 or more people get injured at the very least.
Okay.
So 4 people have to get injured in a shooting for it to be a mass shooting.
Now, is it true, because I saw this on Twitter by
Yeah.
multiple accounts, people, blah, 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 that there's been 30 mass shootings since the 1st of January?
So there has been, as of yesterday, there's been 30.
Jeez.
So, well, that's the thing. Like, you look at the years, right? So in 2014, there's 271
Mass shootings? Or
mass shootings. These are all mass shootings.
That's like, I know it's not like close to every day, but it's like kind of close to every day.
Well, here's the thing.
Regardless, it's-
You look
Yeah.
at 2015, it's 333. Then you go to 2016, it's 383. So that means there's more than one a day.
That's
Then you go 2017, 346. You're pretty much on the nose. Every day is pretty much a mass
we're
shooting.
already at 30.
Then in 2018, there's 30. So right
Which
now,
is close to one a day.
since 2014, we have 1,363 mass shootings in the States since 2014. But I want to be comparative.
How many do we have in this in Canada?
Canada, I'm not sure because it's so little that you can't even find a number
I
for.
believe it's one.
Like no one, well, no, because that's the one incident that you see, but there's,
Oh, there's more.
yeah,
Oh,
because
because there was the, wasn't the Eaton Center one a mass shooting or no?
I think that was probably considered.
that was probably,
Probably.
I'm not sure how many people got injured on that one. But anyways, for comparative reasons,
Yeah, let's get into this.
I figured, screw it, let's get something people like to do. The dreams of winning the lottery.
Okay.
So in the States, you have a 1 in 175 million chance
Right.
of winning the lottery. So comparatively, you're 80,000 times more likely to be in a mass shooting than to win the lottery if you live in the States. If you buy a lottery ticket in the States, you're pretty much signing up to be in a mass shooting.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that is mental. So I figured, okay, fine. Let's get something people are rationally scared of.
Yeah.
Some would seem. This is even applicable for you because you're getting on one in a few days. So there has been 1,690 worldwide people that have died on airplanes since 2014. So that's around the world. That's around the globe.
Is that like attacks on airplanes or just people dying?
That's people that are on a plane, on a
That
commercial
died.
airplane that have died.
But I mean, is that statistic where someone kills people or if someone just has like a heart attack on a plane?
No.
Or just overall.
No,
Just overall. Okay,
if you have died on a plane, you're a part of this
It's
stat.
part of this.
Okay.
Around the world.
Yeah.
I want that to be clear. So that's
Sorry, what was the number?
1,690.
Okay.
So you're pretty much around the world. There was just a smidge more of a chance of you dying on a plane than a mass shooting. Now you have to consider that's a mass shooting comparative in the States.
And think about how many flights there are. I'm pretty sure there's like...
Isn't there like one every 3 seconds or it's something crazy like that?
I'm pretty sure there's like... At any point in time, there's like 200,000 people in the air.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. And then if you think about
That.
how many, if you're just
Is
slightly
that since
more-
2014, sorry?
Yeah, since
Okay.
2014. That's around the world. But then I was like, okay. Let's get a really irrational fear.
Let's get rash.
That a lot of people actually have. A lot of people I know actually have.
Spider attacks.
No, this is actually sharks.
Okay, fair enough.
So since I couldn't find 2014, but I got 2010. That's as close as I could get to the
Okay.
same year. There's been 6 people killed in the States by shark attacks. So you have a 227 times better chance of being at a mass shooting than getting killed by a shark. Now, that's since 2010, but I found I want to try to get to the same number. How long on this planet has it, since it's been recorded, since 1958? There's been 1,104 shark killings in the States since 1958. So since 1958, you almost get close to the amount of mass shootings
Since 2014.
since 2014 in the States.
Yeah.
So since 1958
To 2014.
there's you're almost getting there, and that's the
Not
thing.
even there yet.
Yeah, because that's only the amount of people killed by sharks
So okay.
compared to the amount of mass shootings. So that's not even the amount of people have died in a mass shooting.
Yeah, that's just...
That number was too big for me even attempt to calculate, because you have to go through all those mass shootings.
Yeah, this is...
It is
ridiculous.
crazy when you start comparing.
There's definitely
the
a
numbers.
problem that needs to be fixed.
And-
I don't have the solution. I think it's a...
I honestly think what you brought up is a great idea.
I think they both go hand in hand.
Yeah,
Because we shouldn't stop pushing to ban automatic rifles, but we should
No.
also do something else at the same time.
No, I absolutely agree with you, Dom. Yeah. But
I haven't sworn once yet. Neither of us have, actually.
I've gone really close to a few
Yeah, I've
times in this
gotten,
one.
I've gotten really close.
I've gone really close.
I was almost thinking just cutting out this thing for the first 15 minutes just so we can call this guy whatever name we want.
Don would love that, so then he wouldn't have to put money in the
I
swear
know.
jar. Because you see how upset he gets when he has to put money
Yeah.
in.
But that's
We'll
Speaking of being frugal with money,
okay.
okay.
Cam's the master of segues.
Segues Steve. Interesting enough, I'm sure many of you guys have been not up to date, but have been aware of cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blah blah blah, right?
Oh yes, it haunts me in my dreams, Cam.
Yeah. No.
Why didn't we invest?
Yeah.
Millions of people.
Do you
have
guys even
Bitcoin.
crypto?
If you don't crypto, what
I
do
don't
you
even
do?
currency.
Oh shit. Oh god.
Oh yeah. There we go. You went through the whole thing about mass shootings. He made through the whole thing about mass shootings. That's $30. That
There
could be
we
yours.
go.
$30.
You made through a whole spiel about mass shootings. Then we talk about currency.
And I just go insane.
Classic business student.
Classic. So let me finish this smooth segue, okay? So, funny enough, not funny enough actually. I don't know why that came to my mind.
It's kind of funny.
Being frugal with money, I told you guys this, but I'm pretty sure the majority of our viewers watching would not know the best and most efficient and economically friendly to yourself to mine cryptocurrency, which is actually in Iceland, right? So Iceland has seen a recent growth in their electricity power increase, right? Because of this. One statistic, this was from National Post, cryptocurrency in Iceland has not dropped since it's come out. Like it's
Really?
minorly gone up. It's never skyrocketed, but it's gone up.
Wait, so cryptocurrency isn't like
I was gonna say.
I thought it was like an international kind
That's
of.
what
like,
I thought.
If it increases here, it increases everywhere the same.
That's what I thought. But in the article, it said that it hasn't decreased in Iceland.
Huh.
So I don't know what that meant. There was no like.
Follow up. They just.
Yeah, there's no follow up.
Alright.
They just kind of listed it there, and I was kind of like, that's interesting,
Yeah.
right? So people have gotten word of this, and they've noticed that the energy cost in Iceland is much cheaper and the most reliable out there. So Iceland's government have had, this may not sound like a lot, but on average in the past year, they've had one company call worldwide asking them if they can throw their farming mechanics,
Data
computers,
thing,
whatever, if they can actually buy like energy from them to go there and mine cryptocurrency. And they've had to shut people down because
It's too much.
yeah, funny enough, they're actually starting to lose power. So one statistic that I found, where is it? Oh yeah, so the analysts suggest that the cryptocurrency computers that are operating in Iceland will account for the world's worldwide energy, just in Iceland, will account for worldwide energy in 2020. So by 2020, Iceland will have used the whole world's
As much as the
Oh.
as
whole.
much as the whole world.
So like starting like now.
starting,
So in 2 years they will use the whole energy that the
well, like, yeah,
energy that the
hypothetically,
whole world would use.
would
Oh
use
my God.
in 2 years just to mine cryptocurrency.
Wow.
And they said, and as of right now, or in a couple of months, that they've already used all of Denmark's energy that they would have used by now. And Denmark is a country. This isn't a county.
Yeah, that's like
city.
a
It's
major country.
A major European country.
This is a classic case of like terrible people taking advantage of great countries.
Yeah. So a lot of
I
people,
mean, like,
a lot of people are
T-Bone?
actually,
Yeah.
a lot of questions that they've gotten was, well, why Iceland? Like why would they go out there? So the reason why people are actually going to Iceland is because the power sources that they're trying to buy to use are in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. That way the climate is so cool around the systems that the computers
not gonna
can't overheat.
Holy.
Not to mention like
guacamole.
the electricity is a lot
Cheaper,
there.
yeah,
in
but
Iceland as well.
the main reason is because the power sources are in the middle of the Atlantic.
I
so
guess
it can't
that's why
overheat.
Makes sense.
they're so reliable too. Like they're not gonna bust down ever,
Mm-hmm.
right?
But
If they're just like,
The reason why I found this, well, obviously it's interesting, but the reason why I kind of like was drawn to this was because, was it in our first episode or second episode? We were talking about South Africa running out of water.
second,
The second, right?
second, yeah.
We made that many episodes. I don't
Yeah.
know. I didn't even know what we did last week.
I'm pretty sure it was the second episode.
Fair enough. Yeah, I
But
think it was
I
actually.
think it was, yeah.
But I just found it interesting that they're saying that Iceland's literally had to turn people down because they're running out of energy
They're running out
for
of
their
electricity.
population. Yeah.
Jesus.
Like they have to say no because people aren't getting enough.
That's insane. Why don't they just increase their prices?
Because even if they increase their prices,
That's how we do it.
Yeah.
but even if they increase their prices, these companies are going to pay for it, and then the people of Iceland are going to suffer.
Just match it. Supply and demand. Keep increasing your price until your power supply
Just runs out. And
starts leveling out.
Or like build like a separate power supply that like other businesses
Like a
can
commercial,
use.
like
Yeah,
a commercial
a
tax.
commercial, yeah.
There you go.
Like have like the country use a designated one where they're not going to run out of power. It just stays good, and kind of like a second one,
Dude.
very reliable, just a little bit more expensive than what.
they want to pay.
Yeah, and then just
You and me want to team up and go for Prime
Bob's your
Minister
uncle.
of Iceland?
yeah.
Let's
There
do
you
it.
go. I can't believe that Bitcoins and mining stuff is like still a thing. Like people are still like
That's like a
grinding.
straight up like profession.
Yeah.
Grinding, no pun intended. No pun intended.
What?
Is there a pun there?
I don't know what one.
Grinding, mining.
Grinding and mining.
Eh,
I don't know.
I'm making something out of nothing, I think.
You're out on a win there.
Yeah.
I actually have an interesting topic.
This shit out. Adjust the screen a bit.
So, last week we were talking about conspiracy theories,
Right.
and we got another.
Okay.
This
This
could
is
be
Dom's-
a segment.
This is Dom's favorite thing.
This could be a segment.
Like, yo, I love
We were
myself.
so close.
I love myself some conspiracy theories, but Dom is just like
I love
this guy
conspiracy
is
theories.
so
Even if I don't know, like,
excited.
agree with the conspiracy theory, I just love to listen to it, just to like hear what people are thinking.
I just love to see you react to them. Throw it down, Dom.
So this one's kind of like related to Toronto.
Okay.
So there's a bunch of firefighters from Toronto.
Where at?
They went to upstate New York on a skiing trip.
Whereabouts upstate New York?
Uh,
I want longitude and latitude.
it just says upstate New York.
Ah, that's
Okay,
good
fair enough.
We'll take it down.
Anyway, Danny Fillipidis.
Danny, what?
Unless I spelled this wrong, but
Is this-
Danny
is this-
Fillipidis with
is-
2 P's
This
and about
Philippidis.
25 I's.
is this Dominelli's cousin or something?
Dom and Nellie's cousin, Filipinas. Sounds like a disease you got.
Danny, he might have the Fillipidis disease after you hear what happened to him.
Oh boy, dish it out.
So basically, what happened to him? So him and a bunch of the firefighters went skiing in upstate New York, February 7th.
Right.
Basically, what happened is around 2:30, something like that. Everyone's kind of like, all right.
Oh, I saw this on Twitter. The complex. I didn't read it, but I think I know what you're about to talk
Okay,
about.
can you let Dom finish?
No,
So-
yeah,
so-
I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in there.
Okay, well, you hold on to them. For
Well,
the
I-
Scourge are after.
They're already in, so I
Okay.
can't take it back.
All right.
So, I mean, I don't even know if I'm going on the same thing that he saw.
I think I do.
Okay, but on 2:30,
Or at.
or about 2:30, the rest of the fires
Just read it
now
like, no. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
they were like, all right, let's kind of pack it in, go to the lodge. You know,
Mhm.
everyone's kind of tired and skiing all morning. Danny's like, no, I'm getting one more run in because it's a nice day.
Mr.
Right?
Filipinas, right?
Mr. Fillipidis is like,
Filipinas, rather.
he's like, I want to get one more run in. Right? Everyone's kind of like,
Mans are bust.
tired. Like, it's kind of dangerous if you have to go up by yourself.
Let's
right?
go slide down a hose or a pole or some shit.
Yeah,
Whatever
so-
firefighters do.
Don't think you're sliding that past me.
Did it? Did it?
What did you say?
Said the S word.
Oh.
31.
Number 2.
Go on.
Anyway.
I have to keep you honest.
I want to flick you off, but we'd say the sign language is a thing.
Oh yeah. So Danny's like, no, I'm gonna go one more time.
Right.
Last anybody has ever seen of him. There's an update to the story at the end, but
This is what I read. Well, not what I read. I saw this. Yeah.
nobody sees him until about like 4:30, and then they're like, okay, like now we're concerned because they went back to the lodge, right?
Let me guess. Can I take a stab at what happens?
Take a.
Does he
slash.
cut out his navigation radar to find the Peruvian wreck?
Well, podcast over. No, so basically what happened, close, but so they send a 200-person search team. I think they total spent, like with each person counted, something like 7,000 hours,
Oh, okay. I see.
like with each person,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to find him. So they presumed he was like in an avalanche or something, even though it didn't make sense
Because there was
for him. Like there wasn't like an avalanche warning or anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not like on a mountain. He's on like a ski hill.
Yeah, it's like Riverdale.
Yeah. Like a
Yeah.
resort.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, he probably got into like some kind of avalanche. But search teams go after him. Not just the ski patrol. We have search teams include the U.S. Department of Environmental Conservation,
Right.
New York State Police, Homeland Security, and the U.S. border officials.
Homeland.
Homeland
Well,
Security.
yeah, fair enough, because he's from another country, I suppose.
I guess because he's from another country.
Yeah.
So, nearly 1 week later, 6 days later, they find him in Sacramento, California.
What?
That's not even breaking the ice. They find him in Sacramento, California, because basically, when he, like, no one knows how he got there, really. But
Oh, my God.
when they found him, he had a new haircut, a brand new iPhone, and $1,000 cash. When he got to the airport, he doesn't know how he got to the airport exactly.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what I
how did
thought.
this
No, no,
happen?
no,
He
listen,
didn't
listen.
even know how he
Well,
got
he says that he was in, like, what's it called? Like a big rig, like semi-truck. And that's how he got there. Keep in mind, this is across the country.
Yeah. This isn't no, like, little...
This isn't
trip.
Rochester
Yeah.
to Buffalo.
Like, he would have been traveling the full 6 days to get
the
there.
full 6 days, basically,
Yeah.
yeah. And they asked him, like, what happened? And, like, very nonchalantly, he's like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, I'm just here. Keep in mind, he
What do you mean,
called
what
his wife, but he used a nickname. I mean, maybe it's like means nothing.
Fillipidis is a nickname in itself.
Did she know it was him? Like, was it a code
She
name?
knew it was him because she
It's,
recognized his voice.
It's Donnie Philly.
Sorry.
It's D Phil. You know who it is.
Philip DeFranco. No, but she like recognized his voice.
Yeah.
And she's like, call the police. And I think their call got disconnected, and then he called back, and they stayed on the line while he like went to find someone, and he called the police. He was like just outside of the airport where like the car rental area is.
Mm-hmm.
The weirdest part, full ski uniform, goggles on, helmet on, boots, ski pants.
Wait. So he has the helmet on, does he? Is this
On.
confirmed?
On.
But he got a new haircut at some point. So he
it off.
had to take the helmet off at one point. Get the cut.
And put it back on.
Check the box out. This one's a little uneven. You know, you don't mind. Zzz, zzz, and then here's the tip. Thanks.
So, okay, yeah. They found him,
Full ski attire.
all of his stuff, like his
Looking
passport
he's-
and everything.
He's about line and tilted.
All of his stuff was still at the ski resort lodge. So people are like, okay, this doesn't really make sense, right? Like, he doesn't know how he got there. And people are asking, like, they put a statement on the news, like, if anybody has, like, seen a big rig
With this
with
guy
a
in
skier
ski
in it,
gear.
and there's no videos of him anywhere. And then the Toronto police fire chief, he basically put out a statement, says, how you end up from New York to California, nobody knows, but you can put your own assumptions on it. Just like give the family some respect, but like,
No way I'm giving the family any respect. I need to know. Because here's what I'm
I
thinking.
can't, like, this is where it comes, where you need to know.
Do you have more facts to add before? Because I actually do want to take a stab at this.
any more facts? I think so. He basically couldn't answer direct questions. He was like dazed and confused. Just like a few more things. It's like it's about 3,000 miles away. That's basically it.
So, because here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking our boy D
Oh.
Phil. Oh yeah.
They said there was no like. They don't think he was drugged.
They don't think, or they've tested.
I mean, this was on
'Cause there's
February 7th. 6 days. He was like
Yeah, that's it. Like 6 days after, right? Like I think what happened, because this is presumed a trip with his fire crew. You know, them
Yeah,
are the guys.
I think it's like an annual thing that they do, like a ski trip.
Because I almost want to say our boy D Phil got like a bad batch of shrooms or something. They go up, we're in the cabin. We'll do some shrooms or whatnot. D Phil's he's the wild one in the
I
group.
love how it's D-Phil.
D Phil, he's wild. He's
Oh,
out here.
keep in mind, like he has a family with 2 kids. So, I mean,
So this is the perfect getaway. You know, a weekend up with the guys. Valentine's Day's next week. Gotta do something for the missus. Nah, we'll pop some shrooms back tonight, guys. You
okay,
know?
but shrooms don't take 6 days.
Hold that.
Okay.
I'm
go
getting
on,
there.
Go on.
This is a story.
I had my rant last week.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a good one.
Yeah, so he does a bit of shrooms with the guys, but the guys are like, we'll just take a bet. D Phil's he's crazy though. He's the wild guy in the group.
Wild.
He's the wild
D-Phil.
card. D-Phil. He's out here. So he's like, you guys, sissies. I almost.
A bunch of jabronis.
Close.
Going back already.
Bunch of skanking Jamaicans, get out of here, eh? So this guy's like, screw it. I'll do the rest of them then. They don't kick in yet, though. Our boy D-Phil, he has an hour gap. He has an hour of mental stability before he loses his grip on reality.
Yeah.
In this time, guys, you know what? I think I'm going to hit the hill one more time. All the guys, they're starting to feel a little bit. They're not wild like D-Phil. So, like, we're going to head back to the hotel, you know, throw in some Netflix, chill, and, like, trip out. Yeah, right?
Watch Planet Earth.
Watch Planet Earth or something.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
D-Phil's not like
that's
that. He's like, no,
something
I'm hitting these slopes one more time.
Yeah.
He goes down, halfway down the hill, completely grip of reality, gone. He's not even on snow anymore. This guy's in Candyland. This guy...
He's already in Sacramento.
This guy, before he hits the bottom of the hill, is in Sacramento.
And he has to get there now.
Like, I like to imagine the fact that he was drugged, and he didn't get drugged, but he, like, just drugged himself, and he would have came to, in ski gear, in a big rig, with a fresh cut. Like, the fresh cut is what throws everything off.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because, like, unless my only thought...
I'm stirring. I got a good one.
My only thought is maybe he wiped out on the hill,
Right.
got, like, amnesia, didn't know who he was,
And just started walking.
and just started and he just started walking.
Okay, so let me lay down mine.
Do you know what counts as one of these? He's got something good cooking.
Okay, so Dom kind of took my beginning part.
Yeah.
He suffered some head trauma, right? Boom. Doesn't know who he is. He's Jason Bourne, for all he knows.
Jason Bourne.
Right? He's out here.
He could be James Bond.
Right?
Whatever.
Well, I mean, James Bond didn't have amnesia, but
He's better than that, that's why.
I mean, Jason Bourne
Debatable.
had amnesia, and then... We'll save that for
Okay.
another.
No,
That's a different podcast.
That's for after the
So, right.
podcast.
Head trauma, right? Boom.
Yeah.
For all he knows, he's actually D. Philly. It's his real name. He meets some guy at the ski lodge. Next thing you know, D. Philly is now part of some sort of kidnapping, sex trade roundup, right? They can't have him having the same haircut because he's going to be missing. Throw him in the barber, freshen him up, throw him in the back. He has no change of clothes. What does he have to wear? Ski gear, right? Goes to Sacramento. This whole time, they're doing pit stops. Guys are tossing him back some medications just to not... Jesus. Just to not...
Oh, God.
just to keep him sedated, right? So he doesn't really know what's going on. He may be popping in once in a while.
Yeah.
Hits Sacramento, escapes. Runs away, but still head trauma, not there, right? Finally, he comes to outside of the airport. Boom, there you go.
Full ski gear.
Full
ski gear. But he couldn't answer questions, too. Like, he didn't know, like...
Head trauma, drugs. Doesn't know who he is, where he was.
I like to think that, like, he could answer questions.
But he just wants to
But
keep it...
because of what has happened in the past 6 days, like, imagine the hangover. Like, remember
That's true.
With the end of the hangover, where they're like, "Oh, what took so long?" And they're like, traffic. Credits go.
Meanwhile.
Yeah, like this guy. Every Hollywood producer should be on this right now, because there is a true story here,
That we need to find out.
and it is hilarious. Like, he went on a 6-day, like, probably drug bender. Came to, you know, during that time he's probably like, screw it. I'll wait for my wife. Start a new, like, midlife crisis thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Gets to Sacramento, starts sweating in his ski gear, sweating out the drugs. He's like,
Yeah, I should probably
what
go.
the hell am I doing? Calls
Boom.
the wife. Hey, how's it going, honey? I'm in Sacramento. Call the police. Okay. Hey, by the way, my name's D-Phil. Or it wasn't even him saying it. It was like his, like, road buddy, like some, like, hippie he met, like, in Ohio. Be like, hey, D-Phil. And she's like, what? He's like, that's my name. Conan. D-Phil.
So there was another conspiracy theory. I was trying to find conspiracy theories at this point, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Tom was in the archives.
Someone goes by the name. I have his name up. I think it's Travis Walton.
Okay.
1970s, 1980s,
Right.
abducted by aliens.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
Same situation
my gosh.
about how he's somewhere, ends up somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't know.
When he's found, he's like dazed and confused.
with a new haircut.
Okay, yo, can I ask you one question before
I
you
mean,
finish?
maybe.
When he was found with the new haircut, was it like a nice fade, like a nice haircut, or was it kind of
I want
chopped
to see
up?
it
The
before
picture-
and after. Yeah.
Pull it up.
Pull up a photo of before and after.
Because yo, if
From,
he has
from
a
what I saw, I mean, he was kind of like walking. He was probably like, the haircut didn't look good. Is what I'm trying to
what's
say.
his name?
Danny Filippidis.
Danny.
If you print D-Fill, just come
Nope.
on.
It's with a F. F-I. Yeah.
Okay, because here's my thing. If he has a fresh fade, we know extraterrestrials can dish out some mean
Wait, it's with an
cause.
F? Because
This
I
is
was
him?
thinking like D-Fill, like...
Oh no,
Yo,
it's
he-
with an F.
He looks crazy in
Pull
this
that up,
picture.
pull that up.
Do I do this one?
Uh,
BBC? Like, look at that face. That's the kind of guy that would get abducted by
That's the
aliens.
kind of guy that would totally try out to his boys by...
Yo, he
Nice
actually looks
possible.
like he does. Okay, let me find this. So that's him before, right?
Yeah, but when you see hair before... It's
This
all
is the only
relative.
after.
Do it on images. Go to images.
Oh, that's the after? The after's
I
not so bad.
think. There's no hair before. It's just.
Yeah.
See, look. He came to with more confidence. Look at that haircut. That's not bad.
I'm telling you, if he got abducted by aliens, aliens can dish out a mean fade.
That's not a bad cut.
I guess it's actually not that bad. When I saw it from like when it was small, it didn't look that great. But I guess.
It doesn't work with his head shape. I see why he wears, like, hats.
What do you think he asked for?
Well, if you got abducted by aliens, I think they're just like, yo, give
Like,
him.
Give me
They
the...
should talk to the barber that gave him that cut. Like, what did he ask for? Like,
Yo, that's... If he has, like... Because that's professionally done. So there's a barber out there between
'Cause you can tell.
Upper New York State and Sacramento.
It's clean behind the ears. That barber really.
Yeah, he got in there.
He
Like,
got
he did,
in
like, the
there.
whole, like, scalp shit where
He
they go like
did.
that.
okay,
And-
I mean,
Sorry.
It even looks like they put the straight razor to this part of the.
let's put it out there that we're glad
I
that
caught myself.
he's alive.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. But if this is aliens, I really want to find.
Not only am I glad he's alive, I'm happy for the new haircut he got. The newfound confidence in himself.
I just want to know what happened. Like, what happened at the top of the ski hill to the parking lot in the Sacramento airport?
Yeah, because there is a
There's
6-day
so
gap.
Yo,
there's so much.
You know what could have happened? He could have gone down the wrong hill, right? And there's like slopes, ramps, blah blah blah, right? Hits a wrong one, gets so much air, he flies into the back.
Or he just got so much, like, the tumble, there was so much inertia in it, that he just didn't stop.
And then he went into the back of one. The
No,
guy,
he wasn't even a big rig. He just, like, rolled all the way to Sacramento.
I mean, that would probably take
Yo,
6 days.
Probably takes those days.
or he could have rolled into the back of the big rig. The guy has no idea he's back there. He's locked in there for 6 days.
He's shipping ski gear to Sacramento. No idea. The guy's
wouldn't even
passed
know.
out. It's ski gear. No idea he's in there.
He just thinks it's a mannequin if he opens the back.
Yeah. Well, that's weird. That mannequin has poop and pee stains.
Like, there's so much. Like, he must have been eating somewhere.
Yeah,
Or something.
He had to have. Maybe he ate ski gear,
Maybe he had some bananas in his bag.
but I thought he didn't have a
A
bag with
good
him.
nanner.
Maybe he didn't.
Maybe he took something from the.
Well, no,
the
because
big rig.
And like, why would he buy a brand new iPhone just to make one call?
Maybe it was the iPhone X. And
who said he bought the phone?
He bought the phone. It was a new phone and $1,000
But-
cash in his pocket.
How? What if it was given to him? Who said he bought
know
it?
what this
Because
may
we
be?
know for sure he must have met either someone who drives a big rig or that would put him in one.
yeah, but what if he legit went into the back of one and the big rig didn't know?
To
Okay,
be-
well, he
To be fair, on your point, I'm not sure if it was like brand new in box or
It
if
was just a new phone.
If it was a new phone to him, because
Yeah.
it just said he had a new iPhone.
yeah, like
So I mean,
even then, like someone could have bought for him like the $1,000 cash. He didn't have that going down the ski hill. I'm
Yeah.
assuming going down the ski hill, he didn't have that much on him.
no, like when he was there, like they found him with like
Cash.
like $1,000 cash,
Yeah.
which he like obtained through like his bank or like whatever.
So he had his bank card with him. Like, how would you
Yeah.
obtain that with your bank? So that
No,
means
yeah, like
So he had his wallet.
So that means he's talked to a banker.
that's what I'm saying. And there's
Unless
no
he went to
records.
a teller, like an ATM.
I think those have cameras.
Even better, yeah.
So within the next couple of days, there should be
Check his bank transactions.
There should be so much information.
I cannot
on this.
wait. Yeah, we'll have to actually.
We have to have an update on.
We're
this.
gonna have to update the story next week, or not.
Next episode.
Next episode.
Next episode.
Next episode. We'll
Next
do
Next
episode.
podcast.
Next podcast. Well, I mean, is that
We've had our daily conspiracy.
I'm not gonna lie, these have been fairly good conspiracies.
These are good conspiracies.
You know what I could
That's
see
alright.
this just before we end. I could see this turning into like some like Grand Theft Auto story.
Manhunt.
New Netflix series.
New Netflix series.
Boom.
Manhunt.
Every day is an episode.
Yo. Come on, give me a break.
Come on.
Give me a break.
You two and Netflix, man. I swear to God.
Give me a break.
All right. Well, before we go,
You know what that is? That's the sound of
should we
money
hit him up
thoughts.
with the lineup for next week? Should we give him a little hint? We're doing something a little different.
Let's
We're doing.
no, we'll tease it.
Well, we're just gonna be doing something a little different next week.
Oh, don't even show it, Dom. Just keep it outside.
Not even. It won't be your regular
all we're
schedule
gonna say,
programming.
yeah, it's gonna be different, and things are about to heat up on this channel. Let me tell you.
Oh baby!
Anyway, follow us.
Follow us.
Links are always in the description.
Links are in the description.
Subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe. Let your friends know. Get the word out.
Comment. Like.
We'll
Comment,
come up-
yeah, get some traction going. If you agree, if you have another conspiracy theory about this, I want to know.
Let us know your opinions on gun reform, mass shootings, on this.
Yeah.
Seriously.
On anything.
on Iceland running out of power.
You guys have anything
Yeah.
that's burning you right now? Let us know.
Would
We're
you
here for guys.
buy a single Bitcoin?
Would you buy a single Bitcoin?
Let us know.
Anyways, thank you very much. See you next time.